Broke girl therapy. It's so cool. How do you make that noise?
I don't know. My cousin and I used to he used to make it all the time when I was a kid. And at some point, it's like a child when you hear something long enough, in different languages, the child just knows how to mimic the sound.
Oh shit! So you learn how to do it as a kid?
Yeah, my cousin he used to go all the time as a kid.
And that's why you do that now.
Yeah, that's why I do it. So
I can't even do it right.
Well, so the thing is, I'm not using my tongue to roll an R.
Oh.
Like in Spanish, you go rápido, rápido.
Rapido.
Right? But this is using your uvula, however you say that.
Throat?
The thing in the back of your throat that dangles.
Sorry. Sorry.
So what you're doing is you're I don't know how to explain this, but you're putting air towards the uvula in your throat.
Yeah, because it doesn't sound like the tongue.
No, it's not. It's I don't know if you can see my mouth. So the tongue is tucked down and then you blow air kind of up.
Yeah.
And it makes the uvula vibrate. So but if you lower it an octave, you can do
Sorry.
you could do Chewbacca. And if you raise it an octave, I say it's the horny flying squirrel.
Oh my god, that's so good.
So it's just, when you're kids, you make a bunch of
weird
maybe
noises. Is it like a Cuban thing?
I don't know. Nobody in my family does it.
You're like, it's just me.
My best friend Ida can do it, and she's
Maybe
white.
Yeah.
She's got blue eyes and blonde hair.
Yeah.
So. But if you roll the R, it makes a difference.
I don't even know.
You can do that one.
Yeah, I can do that. I can roll my R's.
Honorary Latina over
I
here.
I am Latina at this point.
Well, Filipina is Latina on some level, isn't it?
I think.
We'll fact check that.
Yeah,
one.
it's we need to fact check because we have so much history of colonization.
Oh.
So we're a mixture of just I feel
different
like so many.
ethnicities,
Yeah,
race.
it's that's why I feel like every there's just different stereotypes of what a Filipino could look like. There's never just one kind of thing.
Well, I'm Cuban, and you have the Afro-Cubans,
Yes.
you have the white Cubans, you have the more olivey Cubans like me.
Yeah.
The
same with Filipinos. There's definitely darker skin toned to very light skin to the point where it's they look like they're Korean or Chinese,
Cool. Oh my god.
It's we have a wide range selection of shades.
The food kind of reflects that as well.
For sure.
Filipino food.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think I mentioned before I used to work for the actor Darren Criss.
Uh-huh.
So I was his personal assistant for about 2 years. And when I worked with him on a TV show, he ordered a Filipino food cart to come and feed everybody.
Sarap.
Yes, baby. So we were eating the most delicious stuff on set that day, and I was like, damn, this food is lit.
It's comfort food. I definitely have to sleep after. It's not. It's
well, it's a lot of rice and meats and
fried shit.
Yeah. Oh, lumpia.
Oh, yeah.
I think we talked about this before.
Everyone loves lumpia. That's
Everybody loves
the first
lumpia.
thing they're oh, you're Filipino. They think lumpia. I'm just a walking fucking lumpia when you're a Filipino.
My little lumpia.
My little lumpia. Everyone just thinks Filipino lumpia. They just it's I'm yeah, it's the most common thing that everyone likes about the culture.
Yeah. Well, do Filipinos make this noise?
No.
Where does that originate? Who fucking knows?
Who started that?
I don't know, but I think classical Hollywood used it a lot. 1940s.
Trying to be sexy.
Mae West in her busty gown.
Oh, I
So,
love that. Let's do
yeah.
that intros because we have things to do.
We do. We've got some fun stuff today.
Okay. Hi guys. It's me, Stefanie Maegan, your host of Vocal Therapy, and I have yo fave, the baddest healer in the world, Astro Daddy, aka Danny Santos.
What up? Woo! Also, it's really important that I let you know that there are scam accounts pretending to be me.
Yes.
They are messaging you saying, I'm drawn to you to give you a reading. I felt compelled. I had a bunch of people at the live show come up to me and be like, oh, I got a message from you offering me a reading. And one girl actually paid, I think, $150 to get a reading. Yes. So shout out to you. I'm so sorry. Reach out to me again and we can like set up a complimentary session or something.
Right.
I have her phone number, so I'll reach out.
Yeah.
But like, when she paid for that, then the person told her that, oh, you actually have a curse on you and you need to pay more money in order to remove the curse. So I'm actually really glad we're talking about this because like, okay, so as somebody who works as a professional astrologer, tarot card reader, intuitive life coach, etc., there are fakes out there. There are scams.
Yeah.
And even people like here in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Or people who own storefronts or anything.
And that's why I never go to like the storefronts. Yeah.
That shit is fucked up. It is toxic.
Yeah.
So it is incredibly important that you know that every single time a witchy reader person is telling you that you have a curse on you, they're actually putting a curse on you. Ooh. And that curse is to get your money. Oh, you have a curse on you, sweetie. You need to buy this candle, and you need to light this candle for 9 days and do X, Y, and Z with it in order to remove
Especially
the curse.
if they like know you're rich or something.
Well, even if they don't.
No, yeah, that's true. They be scamming everybody.
You know, my friend, one of my best friends, she paid $700 to have a curse removed from her, and she lives in New York. And like, she called me afterwards, and she's like, "Oh my God, I got to tell you." And I was like, "Karen, no."
Oh no.
You know,
can you have a curse? Like, what if there is someone that does have a curse on them?
Well, if someone truly has a curse on them, a practitioner should offer to help you for free or at a rate that's affordable to you.
Yeah.
You know, but also, are you familiar with the chakras?
No.
Okay. So we've got like 7 main energy systems on our body.
Yes.
And
I like seen the photos.
The light like coming off of the skirt, like, you know, so you've got 7 on the body. But there's one that's 3 inches above the solar plexus or the belly button. That's called the solar plexus chakra. Yeah. And this one's responsible for self-worth, self-esteem, being able to protect yourself, but it's also your sense of humor. It's your ability to have fun. The solar plexus chakra is the chakra that's responsible for keeping negative energy away from you. Because being the solar, it's like the sun. Yeah. Well, the sun is just a metaphor for your ego. So if somebody's like attacking you where you're weak, they're going to ego attack you and be like, you got a curse on you. Oof. And people who have an open third eye, very, you know, people who are really cerebral, maybe have anxiety, prone to.
You like you said, my scars, my.
Yes. But you have an open third eye.
I do. I feel like I do.
But also, if your third eye is too open, it will manifest in anxiety, the need for control.
Oh yeah,
overthinking things.
Anxious.
Well, and you mentioned that you got your scar from anxiety.
Yeah, I have like look at my ankle.
Yeah.
I was diagnosed with. That's such a hard name to like say, but it's pretty much like a form of a skin picking OCD condition. Someone really close to me in my life has it too. Yeah. And so like these like it's crazy. Like when I was 9, I had another one. It wasn't this one on my forehead. Yeah. I had another one that I was like obsessed with picking, and I also had one here. And now I have another one again here on my arm and here on my forehead. But when I was like 9 or 10, I also had the same spots of skin picking. Whoa. And then in my 20s was when I was obsessed with my ankle. Yeah. Well, it's worth noting that because you were picking at your third eye, you know, it's your sense of anxiety, the need for control. The third eye chakra, it's ruled by the color purple, so it's perfect that you're wearing it. But Aquarius is one of the third eye signs. I always felt like I've predicted certain shit in my life. Girl, you're fucking psychic. Okay. We were talking about this a little bit before the show. Yeah, I was like, I feel like I've for instance, like my show, like I remember for about a year, I was like, I want to start a podcast, and first it was gonna be about fashion. I was still like brainstorming what I wanted, and I didn't know. And then I was, you know, going through like my dating and like dating guys, whatever. And then one night, I remember thinking to myself, like, I just need therapy because therapy's too expensive. Too expensive. I can't afford it right now, and I'm just like, I'm just lost. I don't I feel like I understand why I make these decisions
Yeah.
in my life. So, but then like one night I had a dream, and I don't remember exactly what was like in the dream, but I kept hearing like therapy and like too broke for therapy and like, and I remember hearing people saying the name of the show and like and recognizing me for the show. And so it was like this feeling of like it was almost like a calling.
It was meant to be.
That was like,
you had a prophetic dream.
what is that like?
Okay.
Well, here we go.
Here we go, baby. Prophetic. What is a prophetic dream?
Yeah.
This is when you are sleeping, dreaming, and you start to have a visual experience of something to come, similar to a prophecy.
Yeah.
So a prophetic dream isn't the be-all, end-all. If you're having a dream about something really scary or really intense,
right,
it often comes to us in the form of metaphor. So like dreams of murder, death, rebirth, etc.
Right.
Those can be prophetic dreams of signs or symbols of things to come, but they're not always literal.
Right.
Whereas your dream was actually foretelling the future or being given a divine download of broke therapy's too expensive.
Yeah.
Broke girl therapy was born.
Yeah. Yeah. And I remember like waking up because it was weird. Like I would hear people like shouting out the name, like shouting out like all
broke
these
girl
things.
Therapy.
Yeah, broke girl therapy.
Broke girl therapy. Maybe that was me in your dream.
Yeah,
broke girl therapy.
Show. You were just like
broke girl therapy, baby.
And like
it was me from the future.
It was you from the
coming
future.
to let you know.
Literally be like, bro, go there. And I'm like, what is this? I'm hearing like everyone dancing
music,
right? But yeah, I mean, like that was like I just heard like people. I felt like that. It felt like people were gonna recognize me for this.
Yeah.
And like granted, I'm not famous. I wasn't famous. I was never. I mean,
you're pretty famous now, girl.
Define fame. Like
250,000 followers, millions of views.
It's
getting a live show of people wanting to touch your body.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, it's like I'm on the low bar of fame. I mean, I've worked in the industry, so I know I've seen fame, and like, I mean, one time I was like working a red carpet, and like I think it was like Cara Delevingne and like somebody else right there, and then like the paparazzi yelled at me to move out of the way. And so I was like, oh shit. I was like, that was a very humbling experience. They're like, get the fuck out of the way.
You're not famous.
Yeah. So I was like, okay. Which is fine. I wasn't even trying to like, I was just trying to, it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was just, it was funny. So yeah, so that's why I'm like, like I'm not red carpet famous.
Right.
But people, love me for my work.
Yeah. Well, and your work is beloved.
Yeah.
I think you are the voice of all of the other broke girls who need therapy out there, but also people who just need, like, they just want discourse and conversation.
Yes.
And, like,
a good laugh.
Yeah. So the prophetic dream has come true, but like, it's almost like the divine spirit of the universe came into you and was like, hey, you are the chosen one for this task.
Yeah.
Like nobody could do it better than you.
Because there's been so many times I think I've fought my fate a little bit. Like I'd go out for certain jobs and like I'd be at a job and like, this is my dream job. This is because I've had honestly a lot of incredible experience like in projects, whatever. Like I've done a lot of great stuff, but like I always got fired. You know what I mean? Or like things always like happened that way. It was like shoved me out of that path. Like it was like it would always felt wrong, even though I tried to convince myself it was right.
Girl.
And so now it's led me to this place where I'm like, excuse me.
She needs to expel from her body.
I had to release.
Let it go. Releases the beasties.
But like I had to, I am at the right place at the right time. That's pretty much. I honestly feel it like
you're born for this.
Yes. And it was so scary. I mean, obviously deep down I wanted this to be what I was meant to do, but it was so scary because you want that security. You want the security of like, having a stable paycheck every other week. You want the security of like, like a 401k. You know what I mean? Like starting your own business is like
those things.
Yeah, like it's when you start your own business, it's like
you're taking a risk.
You're taking a risk. So
you're
it's
putting
like,
yourself in
deficit.
And
you see it all the time with people, right? Like where they like even like YouTubers or whatever, any creators where it like they do something and you like never hear from them again, and so
oh yeah,
like
when people just disappear from YouTube.
Yeah, like money and like fame and all of this could be easily taken away. So that's why I try to like just embrace every moment, because I obviously hope for the best and I want to do this honestly for the rest of my life.
Amen.
And also grow from it and like do even bigger things, but like but even then, like that's,
you never know what
just
can
never
happen.
know.
Like
Yeah.
cancel culture, or
Yes.
like putting yourself out there on the internet. You're leaving yourself very open to the outside forces of the world. So that's
Yeah.
why protection is so important.
Yes. And like it is scary because as I love being vulnerable and I love sharing my life with people, and like it's my calling to do this.
Yeah.
But of course, like there is that reality of like to protect your energy and to protect even like myself, like people, there's dangerous fucking people out there.
It's
like
true.
they know like where I go get my coffee every day or some stuff like that. Like it's scary. So it's like
boundaries,
boundaries,
having good boundaries.
Yes. And even just like boundaries, even with like my relationship with Brian.
Sure.
Like,
because he probably doesn't want every single thing you guys talk about.
Yeah.
To be
I mean, he's thankfully he's like
pretty open.
He's open. He's not like,
he's so awesome.
He doesn't ever, I know
I love that guy.
I love that man. Like forever.
Brian, I love you.
We love you. I love you. But like, thankfully he doesn't ever he's never ever said like, can you not mention that? Like he's been very like okay with it, but
he's flexible about
very
it.
flexible. And I always ask him, like even like the thick Latina comments, like, can I post this? He's like, yeah, sure. It's like, are you gonna feel weird about it? He's like, no, it's like fucking funny. It's like, okay.
Yes.
So like I just try to be mindful, but like at the same time, just like I purposely don't have him on the show a lot.
Yeah.
Because like the more you put it out there, the more people feel like they're a part of it.
Yeah.
The relationship, and like he's someone I want to like marry and have kids with, so I have to have like
a certain level of boundaries.
Yeah.
Well, and this brings us back to the concept of like when someone says you have a curse on you or something, like the boundaries piece comes from your solar plexus. Self-worth, self-esteem, the ability to deal with the discomfort of other people by putting up your boundaries.
Yeah.
And like, people like us, we're really friendly. We don't want to let people down. But at a certain point, you have to say like, I'm sorry, this is as far as you can go.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So if someone's trying to scam you for a reading, make sure you always confirm my identity and any reader that you're going to, by having the person state their name in a voice note along with your name or your handle on Instagram and the date, because that is the only way you're going to be able to confirm that who you're talking to is real. So
good to know, and good to know early on in an episode, because
that
sucks that one chick said it.
Yeah.
And I'm scared that
a few people from the live show were like, yeah, you messaged me offering a reading.
Ooh.
And I was like,
if I'm not following him, if you guys follow me and you see that I'm not following him, that's another trick too.
Yeah.
That might be a thing. Don't check to see if he's following me, because I know those scammers.
They will follow your account.
They'll follow my account and use my content too.
Spread the word.
Yeah. So if I'm not personally following him, then it's not him.
And also, just about spreading the word.
Yeah.
Today is the day that I'm launching the Astro Daddy podcast.
Okay, so we don't know when this is going to be out.
I know, but I mean, if you're listening, just go check it out.
Because funny story,
batch work.
Batch work. But we already have like 2 episodes that we recorded, and in this very moment they're not even out yet.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
this is
this is coming
so
6 months in the future.
They need to go. Yeah, they need
All
to go
right.
out first.
Well, just know episode 1 is out today, but by the time you see this,
it's episode 20.
Yeah. Well, I'm probably going to do bi-weekly, so episode 10.
Okay, episode 10. So just know that you could go listen for sure now.
Astro Daddy podcast.
Yay, I'm so happy for you.
Thank you, Boo, and thank you for making it possible for me.
Of course. I really do think the universe brought us together.
Me too. And the twins. They're
all
helping
of us.
me with the podcast.
All of us. It feels like such divine timing.
It really does.
And
like, this is my tribe.
Yes.
Like, I'm like, oh, these are people I can trust. These are people who are like-minded, that are nice to me. Like, having ADHD, I've attracted a lot of people into my life who took advantage of me because I'm just so anxious to love and help people.
Same. same. And then like I feel stupid, so then like I believe that I'm stupid, and people could call me stupid.
And then like, oh, like
that makes sense.
I get it.
Yes.
Like people, because sometimes we're not so focused, so we might come off as slow.
Yes.
When really it's like, well, my mind is focused on like 3 other things.
Yeah,
right
just
now.
know that our minds are running faster than yours.
Yeah, baby.
So
Aries placement.
yeah, exactly. And ADHD.
And
so
ADHD.
It's all of the above.
Have you ever heard of synesthesia?
No.
No.
I feel like I don't know anything.
Well, let me educate
But
you,
now
baby.
yeah, exactly. That's why. And just go. No one knows this too, I think.
So synesthesia is when your brain crosses over different senses. So like when I think about like your name, Stephanie, in my mind you spell it with an F, so that F is orange, but the name itself is purple. So like in my mind I see
you
like
highlight it.
I like see it in color.
Oh.
You know, or like Megan, that is a magenta name with that spelling and everything. So your name is like purple and magenta with a little orange.
That is
in there.
so cool. I don't think in color, I think.
And when I listen to music, I see like tons of shapes and stuff like moving around.
Oh my God.
Numbers are in color.
I like to find the middle letter.
Oh, say more.
That might be a little bit of an OCD thing, because I like to count like broke 5 0 a 0. The O is in the middle. Like
it's the core. It's the solar plexus.
It's the solar. I always loved like I just would. I mean, I'm better now, but I think like when I was younger, I did it a lot.
Yeah.
So maybe it just probably why I didn't do well in school, because I was too busy being like, what's the middle letter and how many letters are in each word. Like I would like actually like. And maybe I like come to think of it, like maybe it was like an anxious thing.
Oh,
way
to ground yourself.
Yeah, a way to ground myself.
Yeah.
I don't do it as much, but I'll find myself doing it. But when I was younger, I did it a lot, and I feel like I was very like, especially elementary school, I feel like I was very anxious.
Yeah, same. I used to like take my fingertip, and while we would read in class, I would bounce my finger on top of each letter like it was a little playground.
Oh, that's fun.
But I wasn't paying attention to what we were doing.
Right.
Like I would just dissociate so intensely, or I would literally be sitting there in class and like staring into.
I would dissociate so much in class too. Like I already came up with the whole music video concept.
Yeah, baby.
And wardrobe lights, everything was like filmed in my head in English class.
I feel you. I feel you so hard. I really, as a child, I struggled with like I had to take extra math classes. I didn't learn to read until like first grade, and I think most kids learn in kindergarten. I didn't learn to tie my shoes until third grade. But like all of my intelligence is spiritual, and like you know,
and you're extremely intelligent.
Well, thank you.
You know, so it's like it's just the school system. Wasn't like,
it's not built for School is very Virgo.
Yes.
It's very like cut dry,
right?
You know,
right,
like this starts at this time and ends at this time, and there's a right answer and a wrong answer.
Exactly, and our minds like don't think like that.
No, baby, shades of gray.
Shades of gray.
I did well in English classes, writing.
Oh, I didn't do well in writing.
Really? What were you good at?
Recess. I wasn't even good at PE. I walked my mile, 23 minutes. Shout out.
Yeah, baby.
So that's how I know that people are like, how long does it take to walk a mile? 23 minutes.
Yeah,
because I didn't even jog, bitch. I walked. Like I didn't even try.
Oh my,
like,
why not?
I was just like, I don't like to run.
Yeah,
I think I was also just kind of like didn't want to sweat because I was like wanting to be pretty.
Oh yeah.
And I just was like, and also like it was my social time. Like I would I had other friends who didn't want to like run too, so
you
we
could
would
walk
just,
with
like,
them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember one
I should have
kid
ran, bitch, run. Like because now I feel like I mean I was like thin back then, so I didn't really feel the need to like. But now I'm like I should have like been a little active.
I remember when I did the mile in high school. My first one was like 12 minutes and 48 seconds or something, and then we ran it again at the end of the year, and it was 8 minutes and 22 seconds.
That's really good.
I shaved 4 minutes and 22 seconds off of my mile in 1 year.
That's so good.
But I can't run that anymore.
Yeah. I don't even know. I don't even, like.
But catch me at Dance Dance Revolution.
Yes.
Baby, I can play heavy mode all day.
Yeah, I will dance all night.
Have you ever played Dance Dance Revolution?
Yeah, DDR, bitch. I even had the home thing.
I have one at home. have.
Yeah, and I got it when
have
I went to the Philippines. I got a knockoff, so I would use the knockoff version at home.
What?
Yes.
I just like 6 months ago, because of ADHD, so you do something at one point and then forget about it. I still have the mat. I bought like a $300 metal mat for my apartment, and it's still in the box at home right now.
Oh my god!
It's like waiting to be used.
Yeah, I don't think I was like that big on it though.
Oh my god, I'm obsessed.
Or maybe I was. I don't know. I don't remember
It's so
anymore.
fun. Well, there's an arcade that we can go to in Burbank.
Let's do it.
Let's get the twins together.
That'd be
Get
really
some friends.
fun.
Dance Revolution. Did you have that one? DDR Max 2?
No, mine was in Tagalog. Mine was not English.
Off-brand.
Yeah, it was off-brand. I told you it was like not even the real DDR. It was.
So what noises would it make when you
I
turned
don't
it
even
on?
remember. I just remember it just being like just. Sometimes it wouldn't even work well. Like it was just like it was. Like, I think that's probably what it was. It was probably because I was like frustrated with it. But and then I feel like doing it at the arcade, I was too embarrassed to be in front of people like that.
I get really sweaty when I do
but when
it.
Yeah by Usher comes on, bet your ass I'm on the dance floor I'm on the stage freak dancing with my friends.
Broke girl lap dance.
Broke girl
DDR
lap
edition.
dance. I know.
Oh my
god. Oh wait, we're doing a tarot reading.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I completely forgot.
That's why we're here.
I dissociated.
We just got
ADHD.
lost. We did. I mean, it's like bound to happen. I really just like at this point, like let's not even plan what to even do.
Baby.
Let's just fucking talk.
Roll with the punches.
But I do want a tarot reading. I feel like I need it.
Have you ever done a tarot reading before?
Yes.
Ooh, tell me about it.
So I have a spiritual medium. Shout out to Yesenia, Yana, who she is. Which I need to hit her up. She's amazing. But she's done a tarot reading for me.
Shuffle these cards for me while you tell us more.
Yeah, I'm not good. I'm not a good shuffler.
And talking at the same time.
Yeah.
It could be a lot to.
This might be hard for me.
All right. Well, let me say I've been studying tarot since I was 18 years old. I'm currently 29. I've been studying astrology since I was 11, and my great grandmother was a tarot card reader in Spain. So it's like part of my like bloodline, you know. I still have her OG deck, like the one that she read with in Spain.
Stop! You should have brought that. That's
Well,
so cool.
I don't know. It's like it's in Michigan right now, like with some other.
I'm in Michigan next month.
What?
Yes.
That's where I'm from.
I know, bitch. We talk about this every episode.
ADHD.
Every episode we've mentioned.
I'm from Michigan.
Yeah, I'm from Michigan.
It's like that
I'm
quote.
not from. You're from Michigan. I'm from here, but my dad lives in.
Oh my God, that's right. How could
Detroit,
I forget?
yeah.
That's right. That's right.
So yeah, but
maybe we're going at the same time because I'm supposed to go to Michigan.
I'm going for Thanksgiving.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna be there the week after. Maybe we'll overlap.
Yeah, because I'm actually flying there. I won't cut this out. I'm probably past Thanksgiving at this point.
Oh yeah.
Who even knows what year it is at this point? But it might be in January actually. Might be
Yeah,
out.
really.
You know.
All right. She has shuffled the cards. They're looking nasty and good.
I love it. They're used. They're lived.
Yeah, baby. Worn in. All right. So I'm just going to give my little spiel.
Okay.
So with tarot, I want to say back when I lived in Michigan, I was trained under 2 psychic mediums and a Wiccan shaman on tarot. We learned psychometry, which is learning how to read the psychic energy of an object that's given to you. I was trained on how to use a Ouija board the safe way.
Oh my gosh.
We did transcendental meditations together, like all sorts of different. You know, I have a lot of training in this.
I'm so scared of the Ouija.
We should try it sometime.
Wish we could.
I'll teach. We can teach people on the podcast.
Should I call my grandma?
Yeah, baby.
Should call my grandma.
Hey, Grams.
Call my grandma.
If you're here, spell out butt stuff.
She'd be like, I know. I don't want to. She'll like hang up.
Yeah, the spirit line is just on dial tone.
Right, exactly. It's
Oh
like,
my
oh,
God.
okay, she's gone.
No, but when you're getting a reading, I just want to always say this reading is for today. We have free will, so we always have the gift and ability to change our destiny at any moment in time.
Okay.
It's also really important to note that anything that you ever get from a reader, if something does not stick well with you or resonate with you, keep what resonates and the deck is jumping.
The deck is jumping.
Keep what resonates for you and throw out the rest.
Okay.
So it's kind of that idea of like, be very careful who you get a reading from, because
Okay.
somebody can easily put a curse on you with their words.
That was so scary.
So if someone says like, oh, X, Y, and Z is going to happen, and it's a scary thing for you,
Yeah.
like, That's why you always want to go to someone who's a professional, who has training. They give an empathetic and compassionate approach, but they're also no bullshit.
Right.
Like, you want to find someone who's good.
Okay.
So, all right.
Let's get into it.
Let's get into it. Broke girl therapy.
Broke girl therapy.
Broke girl tarot P.
Tarot
Oh,
P?
that's a cute name. Tarot P. Broke girl tarot P. Okay, so the first card is the core issue at hand.
Okay.
It's at the center of everything. It's what you're looking at. It's what's topical.
Yeah.
The core of the reading. So we have the King of Swords reversed. So when the King of Swords is upright, this card is ruled by the zodiac sign Aquarius.
Oh.
But reversed, it's actually ruled by Leo.
Oh.
So what do you know about Leos?
They are the center stage.
Yes.
They take the room. They're the leaders.
Yes.
The lions of the jungle.
Yes. Now it's interesting because Leo is the sign of the ego. And we've been
Yeah.
talking about the solar plexus, the ego, protecting yourself.
Yeah.
So that wants to come up here. Like, the fact that the King of Swords reversed means, like, if it's upright, it's Aquarius. You've already gone as far as you can being like an Aquarius and being able to make good progress.
Yeah.
So at this point in time, you're actually being asked to be more like a Leo.
Which I feel like that's like a shift in my life is
Yeah.
to like take charge. Like
Take
you're
charge.
not the employee, you're the employer.
Yeah, you're center stage.
Yeah.
You're the leader. You're the center of attention. But with this comes with Aquariuses can often suffer from low self-esteem because their third eye is so fucking open.
Yeah.
That they're just like, overthinking things, being under psychic attack to their own anxiety,
Yeah.
like that kind of stuff. So to have this Leo card popping up at the very beginning, it really is like, it's time to start combating that. Like working on your self-love, self-esteem, self-worth, good boundaries. A lot of the stuff we've already been talking about.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's been like for sure on my like list of things to do.
Yeah. So let's pull the next card. This is going to be the running influence over this. Like, where are you at with this right now? Or what's kind of the constituents of this? So the next card we have is the Four of Cups. So when we see the Four of Cups, not sure if you can see it on camera, but I'll hold it up. The Four of Cups, it's a guy sitting and there's like a magical hand passing a cup to him and he's like, I don't want it. And then there's three in front of him and he's also not acknowledging those. So when the Four of Cups comes up, it's a card of resistance. So it's like resisting the ego, like, are you afraid that people are going to think you have too big of a head or like where's the resistance in putting yourself first?
Yeah, I think that like for me, my thing that I always try to tell myself is to be humble, because I've worked so hard to be where I'm at, not even just with the show, just in general that, well, first, I started off when I was younger and most of my life, I've just been very like insecure and I feel like I've been gaining confidence, but I don't want ever, I also don't ever want to think that I'm too good for anything.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, it's okay sometimes to
put yourself center stage.
Yeah.
So because you are born in Aquarius and we have this card that it would have been different if it was just the Leo card by itself.
Right.
But it's the Aquarius card reversed being Leo. So
I'm an Aquarius.
Well, you've already developed being a good Aquarius.
Yeah.
Humility, thinking of others, having a relationship to the world, people from all walks of life, open-mindedness. Yeah. Like you've got that built in.
Yeah.
You're actually, you can't get any better at being an Aquarius anymore. You've mastered the archetype.
Yeah.
So you're going to do better if you become more like a Leo.
Be more of like the boss.
Yes, but you'll never lose that Aquarius side of yourself because that's where you're coming from. It's different than someone born a Leo who they're just going to be like, center of attention, baby, here I am.
And having to like humble them from there.
Yeah. You already have humility. Now you need to step into your divinity and be like, all right, I'm part of God too. Like I have just as much self-worth.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, yeah. I'm definitely learning how to be more straightforward.
Yeah.
Is like my
boundaries.
Mars
and Gemini in your birth chart.
There you go.
So, and Mars is in Gemini at the time of this recording. So,
oh my gosh.
But that's topical. So this is coming out months later. So.
Yeah. It's already 2023.
2027.
Right.
Okay. Let's pull a card for your past.
Ooh.
How's the past coming into play with this situation?
Oh my gosh.
All right. We've got the Knight of Pentacles, the ruling card for Virgo.
A lot of Virgos from my past.
A lot of Virgos from your past.
A lot of Virgos.
But also, Virgo, in this sense, it's almost like the card of criticism. Like having your ego being under storm by people who are really critical, whether they were Virgos or just past people behaving like Virgos. Can you talk a little bit about people criticizing you or putting you down that affected your self-esteem?
I mean, I think my entire life. Am I gonna cry again? I'm on my period too, so like.
Bring the tears.
I feel like this batch episode from this month is a lot of crying.
Vocal therapy.
Therapy and also like hormones. Like I got my period last night, so so I'm very sensitive. My whole life, I think, started off with my mom. And then, having ADHD, school was always very tough. So like I even had like a choir teacher ask me if I was in special ed.
What?
I know, because I didn't understand. I forgot what it was. Like something, I didn't understand something about like music theory. Like it just wasn't clicking to me. And so she's like, she pulled me aside. She's like, "Are you in special ed?" I know, she's fucked up.
You can't ask somebody.
You can't ask that. Yeah. So, and then like, I just think like even my old friend group, I was always kind of like the butt of the jokes. I was always, and I've recently just like severed my relationship with them, and I'm not friends with those people anymore because, and I think I was telling you a little bit at ramen the other day, but it's just because I've like learned to not take shit anymore.
Boundaries and self-worth.
Yes. And they didn't know where to place me because for so long, and this is not something that they ever even admitted to me. This is just an observation and how I feel. But for so long, like I was always like the butt of the joke, the friend that they like could just make fun of or whatever. The scapegoat, like, just didn't, I felt like they didn't care, honestly. Yeah. So, there's a lot of critiques there. And I just, dating Virgos in general.
Look, my parents are both Virgos. I understand.
Yeah.
They can be critical.
Yeah.
But if a Virgo is being critical to you, that's also their way of like showing you love.
Yeah, it's a way of showing you that they care because that's just their love language in a weird way.
But also, a Virgo can get very carried away with wanting perfection or wanting you to, like, they don't acknowledge what level of progress you have made.
Yeah.
So, it's important for people to know that opposite signs of the zodiac, like the high vibration of both of them is going to look identical. So like a low vibrational Leo or neutral is going to be like the Leo that everybody knows. Yeah. But a high vibrational Leo is going to be a Leo with Aquarius traits developed. And vice versa for Aquarius. Aquarius, humanitarian, but the high vibration will have the ego developed. So, with Virgo, the high vibrational Virgo can criticize you and set their boundaries, but they're also going to be compassionate like a Pisces.
I've also let go a lot of Leo friends as well, too. So I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that's because you're learning to say, like, okay, I can actually develop Leo in myself. I don't need to be grabbing it from my community.
You guys. Yeah.
And then you can befriend Leos in a healthier way going forward. So, very interesting. Should we pull one more for the past or go to the present?
Let's do a past. I don't know. I like to dive into
Let's go a little bit further, baby.
I know. I like it to dive into past a little bit. Ooh. Let's do some healing,
So we've got the Justice card. So this is the card of holding your light and your dark in perfect balance. It's ruled by the zodiac sign Libra. So it's interesting because Virgo is followed by Libra in the astrology. So it's like, okay, you've gone from having things needing to be perfect and organized and people criticizing you to finding a bit more of a balance. But also, the Justice card is about relationships and romantic love. So let's talk specifically about your relationships with Virgos or people who are critical and how that has been a self-esteem blow.
My first love, I would say, my like high school boyfriend from 15 to 20 years old, Kevin, shout out.
Hey, Kevin.
And he, like, that was probably the most heartbreaking. Obviously, it was my first love. And, like, I like, I was young. Like, being, like, around 20 years old, I'm of course, like having a little bit of a wandering eye and like wanting to flirt with other guys. At the
Mars
same
and Gemini.
right. And then, but at the same time, I'm like, wait, I'm like in love with my boyfriend. Like, I don't want to hurt him, but I just was, naive and didn't know how to handle that and understand that, like, what's next in life, because I knew I still had so much life to live. So I feel like I kind of like messed with him a little bit, but he cut me off in a way that was like very hurtful. And it, like, I just felt really guilty for so long. Like, that I was never going to find anyone as good as him, because he was great.
Yeah.
He did take care of me.
How
and
did
like,
he cut you off?
Just cold turkey. Just.
Ooh. Was he a Virgo?
Yeah.
Okay. So Virgos are pretty good at, it's
Yeah.
like scissors.
Yeah. I mean, towards the end, like, we were on and off, but I think he
had enough at a certain point.
I went, and I was like, what? And then I realized, like, oh yeah, I think that was the first time, like, you can't treat people like that, So it was.
We all fuck up.
Yeah, yeah. And so and he would like say, I would hear that he would say things like he just wasn't attracted to me anymore because I was like gaining weight, and it just and just I look back at it and like, I mean, that wasn't a nice comment, but the way that he cut me off, I'm like, oh, because he was hurt too.
Yeah.
And like, I, for so long, didn't even think he was hurt. I was just like, you just hate me. Like, you don't love me anymore. Like, what's going on? Like, how can you not love me anymore? I just thought like he was just didn't have any love for me. But it's like, no, like, he loved me. Like, but he chose himself. And like, I respect it now. I'm like, good for you. You created boundaries at a young age. Yeah. That was
How old was he?
20.
Okay. Well, Virgos are born with that kind of energy.
Right.
They're not afraid to be critical of the matter at hand. And if you think about the word critical, it doesn't just mean to be like poking and picking at someone.
Yeah.
Critical is also to have like a critical amount of energy in one direction. Yeah. So he's able to say, sorry, like, I'm going to be a little critical with the situation at hand and just cut the tie.
Exactly. Like, he was so good at like, choosing himself, and and so I'm now, as a grown person, I respect it. I'm like, you did what you needed to do. Yeah. But back then, like, for so long, I think it took me a really long time to realize, like, oh, like, why am I fucked up? Like, I'm not deserving of love. I'm not pretty enough to be wifed up. I'm not pretty enough or even a good enough woman to like be with. Like, am I a whore? Yeah. Like, am I just like, I didn't know where I stood as a woman.
Yeah. Well, you know that none of those things are true. Or maybe,
I know now, but I think it took a while.
Yeah, yeah.
It took a while to get to that point,
What we're really getting at here is shame.
Yeah.
How did you deal with the shame of that? I mean, did you go into more destructive behavior? Did you go into healing?
Yeah, it was a lot of destructive behavior. I think in my 20s, like a lot of drinking, a lot of drugs, a lot of, thankfully I never got to a point where it was like a bad addiction. I think I've always knew that like there was a point where I needed to stop if it was like getting too much. Like, so I don't think I've ever like struggled with addiction, but I definitely abused drugs and alcohol.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of blackout nights or like just making wrong decisions. And just, just trying to get validation from men. It was really what I've tried to find my value in. And I tried to find value in my career too. Like, I thought,
find self-worth from the approval of working really hard for people that didn't appreciate you anyway.
Exactly. Yeah. In toxic work environments, but also was like, I'm going to be, because for instance, my ex-boyfriend from high school, like, he really took care of me. Like his parents had money. Like,
this is the Virgo one?
Yeah. And that one that like cut me off. But like, he like financially took care of me, like even paid a semester of school. Like, he really like, like my mom, that's another separate story too, but there was never food at home. Like, we were kind of starving at home. I think she might have an ED, but we don't have to dissect her right now, but like, there was never food at home. So it was like a struggle at home. Whew.
That's okay. That's okay.
But he took care of me, and I just like was just silly. It was like, oh my God, this guy from Coffee Bean is so hot. Like, like I would just be like just I never like physically cheated on him. It wasn't anything like that. But I
Yeah.
was always like, I just need to be single right now. And then like, but
So
then I
you'd
get
say
back
that
with
to
him.
him.
Yeah, and like
So you went
it was
back and
just,
forth.
it was like confusing. Like I was very confusing and like not the most loyal, but I was a confused person. You know, at 20 years old, you're like, what am I doing with my life? Where am I going to go to school? What career am I going to get?
Who the fuck am I?
Who the fuck am I? Like, you know, and
There's
also
a
like,
lot of pressure riding on
yeah,
you.
and a body dysmorphia. I don't have the same body as when I was 14, which is
Yeah.
like, duh, bitch. Like, you're not a child anymore. You're
Right.
turning into a woman. But like, I didn't understand that. So there's just like a lot.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's like very common for that age.
Yeah. Well, and you're also talking about the career part. Oftentimes we'll seek out career and professional situations that
Yeah.
mirror our relationship with our parents in the most toxic way possible. So you'll
Yeah.
find people that go years stuck in a really abusive situation.
Yeah, like going through my parents' divorce. You know,
How old were you when they got divorced?
16.
Okay. So
But you know, a divorce takes
a long time.
yeah, like, and you know, seeing my parents like talk shit about each other and then like within like, you know, my parents divorced and within like the next year my dad was ready to remarry and got another woman pregnant.
Whoa.
So he
So
wasn't
you
even,
have half siblings?
yeah.
Wow. Have you ever
And-
had them on the show?
No, they're young. They're not even like
Okay.
well, like shout out to Ariana. She's like in her 20s now, but like but she lives in Michigan
Yeah,
and then
yeah. Where I'm from.
right, but she's like not biologically my sister, but my dad adopted her.
Got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
but like we also share a younger brother.
Yeah,
who's
yeah,
like
yeah.
my half sibling, biologically, and so yeah, so that was a lot.
Yeah.
And then going through. So this is probably the most dramatic time of my life, Danny.
It's okay,
This
that's
card
okay.
fucked me up.
That's okay.
I know I have
That's
to
what
laugh
this
at my
is
face.
for.
I know. Jesus, it's like only like 2:00. Okay. But you know, then like having like a family member like go through like, you know, like bipolar and like schizophrenia episodes, like a lot.
Yeah.
My 20s were a lot.
Yeah.
So I was drunk for most of it.
Because you didn't want to face it. You didn't want to live through that.
Yeah. So
Yeah. It's powerful to just see by, like, if you know the tarot and introduce the cards, how we can actually extract this stuff
Yeah.
from the psyche. And, you know, we talk
where's
about this.
ayahuasca when you need her?
Well, honey, I've done ayahuasca 26 times at
I
this
know,
point.
exactly.
So she lives in me.
I know.
You know?
Jeez, I am moisturized on my face.
But that's okay, you
Yeah.
know? That's
Yeah,
what
yeah.
this is for.
Ugh,
And I
Damn
want
it.
your vulnerability.
I know people, you know, want this too, I guess.
Yeah. So if we pull another card, what do we need to do to bring the healing? Because
I
obviously
don't know.
we've got criticism from Virgo, and then trying to find the balance, balancing your darkness and your light from Libra.
Yeah.
So criticism from relationships, critical on yourself for how
Yeah.
you've behaved in relationships. The next card we have is the Four of Pentacles reversed. So if you look at this card upright, it's a guy holding on to a pentacle really tightly. There's one on his head and two under his feet. Reversed, this is actually about letting go.
Oh.
You need to find a way to like release this, because on some level it's still in your nervous system.
Yeah.
It's still like a part of your experience. It's kind of within you still.
Okay.
So that's where things like ayahuasca can be very useful to have
Yeah.
a cathartic experience, but also breath work, sound healing, EMDR therapy, tarot therapy.
Yeah. True.
You
Yeah.
know, but it's time to really start unpacking these things a little bit further and realize like you weren't necessarily the problem, or like it wasn't your fault, because you are a child of divorce. You're someone who's gone through, we talked about, you know, making every mistake in the book. And what this offers you with this Aquarius energy that you have is you become a leader to others.
Yeah.
It is best to lead when you yourself have made all of the mistakes and are still walking the straight and narrow path.
For sure.
So
I made something out of all of that trauma.
yes.
Yeah.
100%. So, wow. So you need to let go. Can we pull one more to see like
yeah, let's do it. You're like,
how-
let's keep deep. Let's
Yeah.
keep digging.
How do we let go? Like, yes, we
Yeah.
understand she's got to let it go, but Abandonment issues. We have the
Bitch.
the five of swords.
Oh God. Okay.
Unpack it for me, baby.
Oh shit.
What does abandonment issues mean to you, and from who, and from what? And
you said something the other day at lunch. You're like, when you get hit, that's also abandonment issues.
yeah,
But yeah, it was definitely
unpack that a little bit more. When you get hit,
Oh yeah, there was a lot of like abuse.
Yeah.
I never liked being at home with like my parents
Yeah.
and my family. I never liked it was like my mom, and like even my dad. But my dad like one time like beat me with the belt and then like realized like how fucked
you
up that
went
was,
a little too far.
and he like cried about it and said I'm
Yeah.
sorry, and then he like never did it again.
Well, and like coming from like those Latino countries, I guess
Yeah.
Filipino's not
Yeah.
Latino necessarily, but like
Very similar.
yeah. So when we were at the ramen restaurant, and I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, like as a kid coming from this kind of
Get the
family background,
belt, the-
yeah.
the
When you get hit as a child,
Chanelas.
the chancleta.
The chancla, chanelas in Tagalog.
Yeah, it does feel like you're being abandoned.
Yeah.
When someone causes violence to you and your physical body, it is a form of abandoning someone.
Yeah.
Because this person that you thought you could trust or that you were close with or that you're developing this really deep, intimate bond with is then suddenly a source of fear and trauma and pain, and it creates a lapse between two people. So
Yeah.
oftentimes when people suffer physical abuse, they do also, it amplifies abandonment issues.
Well, for sure. Because it was like my parents, and it was also like my older brother who would like, because, like we go to school, we come home, and like my parents are still at work, and it's just me and my like brothers. My older brother was in charge, so he would always like hit me too.
Yeah.
And like,
Kind of like how your friends used to all gang up on you with their words.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, and then when people, when you have people that are close to you that are causing violence or hurting you,
Yeah.
those are also the people you're either living with or growing attachment to.
Mhm.
And it's just a breeding ground for codependency.
Yeah, for sure.
So
Because I
you're
felt like then I got to school. I really cared to be popular. I really
Yeah.
cared to like make as many friends as possible. Like that's why to this day I have so many friends, just because it was like ingrained in me. Like
you needed to find support.
I needed to find support.
If you weren't going to get it at home, you might as well have found
I
it.
didn't like being home, so I'd go to my friend's house a lot, or I had my friends over because it like wouldn't be as bad. Like I
Yeah.
could, I just hung out with my friends a lot. And I remember my mom was like oddly jealous of that. She's like, you always want to be with your friends, you never want to be with your family. And I'm like,
my family used to say that. I
Yeah.
think they still have a problem with that sometimes.
yeah, my parents too.
They're like,
Well, not
you
my
never
dad, my
fucking
mom.
want to be home. When you're home, you're out with your friends all the time.
And
And
I'm
I'm
like,
like,
'Cause y'all suck.
well, I love my family, and I'm sure
Yeah.
you do too, but it's,
Me and my mom, I will say, like, are better now because she like lives in Texas.
okay. So you have a little bit of distance.
Distance again like makes the heart grow fonder, and also I think like of age too, it's like she can't tell me what to do, and like I've just like I'm an Aquarius, I'm stubborn as hell, like I'm not gonna listen to anyone. Like I'll only listen to something, I'll listen, take it in, but only do what you say if I want to.
Yeah.
Like I will, I've gotten in trouble a lot of times with that. So, because I was like, oh, I want to do my way.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I totally get it.
yeah.
I'm
And so
like that too.
I think my mom is just,
Well, when you live in a really tense environment, then it just like one core issue like abuse can turn into so many problems, because it's like the abandonment issues, the codependency, but then it also becomes like having a problem with authority and like wanting to rebel against
Yes.
everything. And like I've certainly had that in my life.
Yeah. Same. Like I just wanted to rebel like a lot and just
Because your authority figures were like, the criticism or the
Right.
punishment, Virgo, interesting, we've got that, didn't match the crime. There was no justice, Libra.
yeah.
So that like, I don't know if you experience this, but I have this when I mess up even a little bit, I'm expecting the harshest judgment from people, or like people are going to come down on me extra hard, or I'm going to be canceled or killed, or
Right.
you
right.
know.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's like
Trauma responses.
Yeah. It just I think when I was younger, I didn't realize all of this.
Yeah.
Like, I think that I was like, well, I'm not going to school with a black eye, so I'm not that getting beat, you know?
Right.
But then I'd see all my white friends, and they're like cussing out their parents.
And I'm like, anytime I ever saw that growing up,
Yeah,
I'm like,
you're
what
like,
the fuck?
Oh my God, my ass would have been,
Yeah,
my hair
baby.
would have been pulled and dragged across the hallway. Like, how? Yeah.
You know, in Cuban culture, there's this thing where the mother just needs to look at you and she'll purse her mouth and tighten her
Oh
eyes.
yeah, my mom too. Yeah, she just looks at me and I'm like,
You know, like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
you stop there.
yeah, I know. You're like, okay, she's gonna beat my ass now, so we gotta stop. But yeah, it's just it was a lot of that. Like, and I had a curfew up until I was 21.
Whoa.
So I think I mean, I always found ways. Let's be real. Like, cause I'd be like, oh, can I sleep over this so and so's house?
Yeah.
But it was like I was strategic with it because she like wouldn't let me do it every weekend, so it had to be like every other weekend. Or she'd be like, okay, but clean your room, but I'd stuff everything in my closet. Like, you know, it was just like stuff like that.
I get it.
But but yeah, I had to be home at like, I think high school was like 9 p.m. And then when I like graduated, it was like 11 p.m. or something like that.
Wow.
So yeah, like
Whoa.
up until I was 21. And then so when I turned 21, I was crazy.
Because you had no. I'll give my parents that. I didn't have a curfew after high school.
Which is, I was 18.
Yeah.
And I used to tell my mom, I was like, the state of California is allowing me to be out past like 9. Like,
And they're like, well, not under my roof.
Right,
You
like,
live in my house, my rules.
right. And so, I mean, ideally I should have gone out sooner, but I was also scared.
Of course.
Like, you're scared to be on your own, paying your bills. Like, how do you do that?
Yeah.
Like, everything's so expensive. Like, I don't even want to pay for laundry detergent. Like, I have to pay for that now. You
Yeah,
know, like
really.
the smaller things, you're like, what the fuck?
I'm still asking those questions.
Right.
And I'm 29 years old.
Right, exactly. So, okay.
All right. So with this in mind, let's pull a card for the present.
Okay.
So
Oof.
we've got the Hierophant reversed, or the Hierophant. I don't know how you say it, but this is the card of marriage when upright, and reversed it's divorce.
Oh.
So I think this is saying like your parents' divorce is still playing a very real factor in your life today.
Yeah, I think it like is a factor that's going to play in my life.
For the rest of your life?
Like, I think I'm healed from it. I don't cry about my parents' divorce anymore. Like, I'm glad they divorced,
Yeah.
but it still plays a factor on, like commitment, like, I mean, I know I want to be with Brian forever, but like the thought of just like having a wedding and like the signed papers is just like, we could wait, it's just like we could wait, but like I want it, but like we could wait.
Well, I'm training to be an ayahuasca shaman,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
maybe we've got some work that we can do together to heal up some of this past stuff.
Yeah.
So that maybe right now you're not running into getting married.
Yeah.
But you're in a committed relationship, and it's super healthy.
It is.
How long have you guys been together?
Over 2 years now.
Woo!
I know. Longest relationship in my adult years.
Get it, honey?
I know.
And he's such a little cutie.
He's the best.
He
He's
has-
just like the best. Like, I could put him anywhere and everyone would just love him. Like,
He
he's
has
like
the most kind face I've like ever seen in
such
my
a
whole
kind
life.
face. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and he's just like, even as just his personality, like he's very like welcoming, and like for me, like my biggest thing was like, I want someone that like I don't have to like attend to all the time to make sure they're okay. Like,
Yeah.
I know that they're like
They're good on their own.
They're good on their own, and
I like that
they
too.
could get along with anybody in my life, that don't even have to worry or like have to give a warning to like my friends. Like, I'm so sorry, like that, because I just want someone that's like who could kick it with my friends,
Absolutely.
and my family. So, and he's gone along with like everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right, so we've got this kind of the Hierophant is also about tradition
yeah,
and like sacraments, like marriage, reconciliation, whatever, First Communion, the Catholic things. There's of course sacraments in other religions too, but tradition. And to have this card reversed is like, well, you don't need right at this moment. You're not looking for the traditional thing.
No, I don't even think I'm the most. I'm not really traditional in
Yeah.
that sense. Like
Aquarius is the sign of innovation.
yeah, or unconventionalism, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Humanitarianism as well.
Yeah,
Bring the
yeah,
whole
yeah.
planet together.
Exactly. Like I'm like, we don't have to do it. We don't like. We know that that's the end goal, but it's like it's not. I'm not one of those like, women who are like that's like their goal is to get married and they can't wait to like find their dress and like have their moment. And I'm like, I don't really care.
Yeah.
like about that. Like, you know, like I'm like, I want it to be a fun wedding, but I don't care about like the flashiness of it. Like I don't, I want it to just be at the right time. Like I think that like, I don't know. I just like, who cares?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but we'll do it eventually. But
When the
just,
timing is right.
yeah, like we'll know when it's right. But like, I don't want us to.
It's not
do
right
it.
now.
Yes.
That's what the card is.
And my
giving
mom
us.
is always pushing like, when are you gonna get married?
Boundaries.
I know. She's just like, she even said to Brian, she was just like, you know, I just, if like, you know, you guys are living together and I just don't want my daughter to be disrespected
Yeah.
if she's just like not gonna have that like marriage and that promise. I was like, hold on.
What year is she living
I
in?
was like, first off, it's not disrespectful if we both agreed that we like the place that we're in right now in a relationship. Like, this is not just like up to him if we get married.
Yeah,
like, I'm not waiting around. Like, this is a mutual agreement and discussion like that we have. It's like we both don't feel like we need to like rush for the sake of age or because we're living together. It's
2 years is a good amount of time to still be getting to know somebody. Like we talked about on the first time I was on your podcast, it takes like about 5 years
honestly
to really get to know someone in and out.
Yes. And we just moved in together and I'm like, let me like
test drive the car a little bit before I buy.
Right. I was like, why rush? Like let's appreciate every step.
Yeah.
And right now we're in the step of appreciating living together, like no kids, just our animals, which I know he like gets frustrated
fur
with.
babies.
I know, fur babies. And like just being in the moment. Like I don't know what 5 years is gonna look like. I don't know. So it's just like I mean, obviously that's our goal is to be together, but we're just appreciating every stage.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
So, all right. So we've got this. We've also got the Tower card.
Tower.
The Tower represents the tower falling over and having a complete, what I call tabula rasa, which means like a clean slate in Latin.
Okay.
So, but the Tower can be very painful. It's like the exorcism card. So, what are we exercising? Well, if we look at the past, abandonment issues and the violence and the pain and the heartbreak and the negative relationships, the self-criticism, lack of self-love.
Yeah.
So it's time to start, you know, maybe you're divorced from that as well. And just curious, what kind of steps have you been taking or do you think you need to take in order to really heal up this past trauma?
Well, I think I've talked a lot about like cutting off a good amount of friends. Like I've really I mean, even the twins were like, all your friends are at the show were like so amazing. Like everyone's so helpful. Like
they really were.
Everyone was hot. Like everyone was just like, you know, all these things. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I'm so grateful, but it's also because I purposely chose that, you know what I mean? Like I purposely have cut off people who were negative, people who didn't believe in me, people who were just bad people, people who, you know, like I did a lot of like I cleaned house, like
baby,
especially last year and earlier this year. Like I definitely was like, you know, I don't care anymore. Like, and I thought these people would be in my life forever because I've known them since I was like in junior high or whatever. And I'm just like, if you want to be in my life, you'll be in my life. But I'm not gonna try anymore. I'm not gonna put in the effort. I'm only gonna like feed the relationships that are also going to feed me back too. Like we're going to water each other's plants, you know, like
yes,
that's
mutual.
what it should be about. So I think that like, that's why I was able to have a lot of, you know, great people at the live show, like everyone that helped and stuff. Cause it's like, they're all my best friends.
Also shout out to Danica. Cause I loved you.
Yes. Shout out to Danica. I love her.
I love you so much, Danica.
She's so hot.
She's so hot and also so amazing. I did a reading for her a few months ago.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. It was really powerful. So I don't want to get into her personal business,
life. Yeah.
She's a powerful healer.
She is. I could see that for sure. She's amazing.
So, all right. So we've got the tower, but I'm also wondering, like, are you doing anything like therapy or anything like that?
Yeah, I just I took a break from therapy, but I'm back.
You might want to work with Dr. Stefanie a little bit more.
Yes, Dr. Stefanie was incredible, and I feel like I
feel like there's something there.
Yeah,
you know? She's an Aries rising she's an Aries sun with Aries rising.
Aww.
And then her moon sign Sagittarius.
Love that.
So I feel like you two, I just knew you two had to meet each other.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. She like
that's my mentor.
She brought she's amazing. Yeah. She like I did learn a lot from her that like was very life changing. And I'm like, I hope she knows that.
I'll let her know. I'll tell her.
I hope she knows that.
All right, let's pull another card for the present.
Okay.
Oh, the Three of Swords reversed. So when I see this card upright, it's the three swords going into the heart. But reversed, it's like it's time to pull the swords out. Aww. Like your work to do this is now.
Yeah, I agree.
It's going to be a painful process, though, because you're going to have to relive everything.
Yeah, I mean, I'm crying.
Yeah,
this whole fucking batch of episodes this month.
Broke up therapy.
We're having a breakthrough, you guys.
Break girl therapy.
Breakthrough therapy.
Breakthrough
therapy. That's what that is.
Breakthrough therapy.
Yeah, no, I feel like I think the biggest start was letting go of my ex-boyfriend. I think relationship-wise.
The Virgo?
Yeah, the last one, not the one that. Yeah, the last one, the one that like
you
cheated.
Dated two Virgos.
Yes.
Okay.
That was like in 2020. I let that go, and that was like the enlightening moment to not go for like toxic relationships. And I found Brian.
Yeah.
And then last year, I think was the biggest thing was like friendship, like getting really. I think I was like listening to myself more on like how I was feeling when I was around people.
Yeah.
Like I remember certain friend groups, I would just cry afterwards. And not because anyone said anything mean to me, but I was like, I don't connect. And it would like that made me sad because it was like mourning friendships that I thought that I would have forever that like have been through the trenches with me when I was younger, whatever it was. So it was like sad to feel like I don't feel connected. I don't agree with them. I don't see a future with them. It was a hard thing. And I think that like that was, and I'm still grieving that, you know, like that's been very tough for me. I'll cry again.
Oh, that's
and then
okay.
Career, another thing too, was like trauma. This year I felt like I really tried to like shift my mind to being like, Brocal therapy is my job. Brocal therapy is my job. Because again, it's like casting a spell.
Yeah, baby.
Like I used to always look at it as like Brocal therapy is my passion project. Brocal therapy is on the side, my side job. I'm like, no, Brocal therapy is the front line. Brocal therapy is your main job. Like, because that's what I want. I'm being honest with myself. So I'm working on it. And it's still in transition. I feel like it's growing a lot right now. But you know, we're not aware. I mean, I want it to be huge. So like
it's going to be.
It's going to be.
It's already got a good start, girl.
Yeah.
260,000 followers on TikTok.
Am I? I don't even know.
Something like that.
Something like that. But yeah, so it's growing. It's getting there. I see like it slowly, you know, getting there.
Yeah.
Which I rather it like a slow build versus overnight because. And at this point, nothing could be overnight because I've been doing this for 6 years. But I think I rather it be that because I could perfect my craft, and also I feel like it's more, you get more loyal people that way.
Yes.
You know?
It's interesting that you're saying this because, you know, at the time that we're recording this, today's the launch date of my podcast. Last night I was with some friends and we pulled some tarot and I was like, I want a card for my podcast.
Yeah.
And the card I got was the elk. And the elk card talks about like slow and steady wins the race.
Yes.
And like Cammie and Nikki, the twins, they told me that podcasting is a labor of love.
It is.
It takes fucking time.
Yeah.
So like, you're doing all of the things right.
Yeah.
You know?
And I even told myself that in the beginning too, was like, social media was different at that time when I first. This is gonna age.
This is before TikTok.
This is gonna
back when MySpace was up.
Right? No, but this is gonna age my show for sure when I put things in perspective. And it's not that long ago, but I feel like to some people it might feel long because they're probably like in middle school at this time, but then now they're like in college. But like, I started the show when there was no Instagram story yet.
Whoa.
I know that seems old, right?
Snapchat made up the story concept.
Yeah. So I was Snapchatting it, but it's like Snapchat doesn't push your content to like how TikTok is. It's like you have to just
TikTok really pushes.
It does.
Although the algorithm changed recently.
It does, but yeah, algorithm changes like every day.
Fucking algorithm.
I know. And then like Instagram too was very like saturated and gatekeepy because again it didn't push small creators. The way to grow at that time, it's still like the recipe now, but the way to grow is like to have big name people, someone who's an influencer or YouTuber or
I would call
a celebrity.
You an influencer,
sure. And like, but I think I only had like 200 followers or something.
Sure.
So I was like, oh my, I'm not like, okay, what? I went to high school with Tyler Posey. I have his phone number, but I'm not gonna call him to like, you know what I mean? Because I mean, I could.
But like,
because he's
watch
cool.
how you call your favors. Like,
right.
I'm not about to hit up Darren Criss and be like, yo, are you coming on my podcast?
Like, it feels a little weird.
It's kind of like I want to use your clout for my benefit.
Exactly.
And that's gross.
And, it'd be different if we were like actually best friends. Like me and Tyler Posey text. It was like, no, we don't. Like, so if we see each other, we say hi, but it's not like, it's not like that. But, yeah, so I didn't want to be thirsty. And also it was like, I'm thinking of the concept of the show. I'm like, I want it to feel so natural and like, I want it to be as real as possible.
Yeah.
And like, for me, I feel comfortable expressing myself with my friends. And
I know some people who have podcasts who are like, I will never interview someone I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I will do that. Like,
you do it all the time.
Yeah, like I'm now open to it. It took me a while.
Yeah.
Actually, no. I mean, I feel I was still open to it, but it was like I had to like read the room. To this day, sometimes I have to like. I feel like anyone you give me, I just trust.
Yeah,
so
baby.
That's like huge.
Ebony Mystique, Dr. Stefanie.
I just trust. I'm like, I feel like you just know, so I'm gonna like. I've been taking that risk, and it's been so successful. So thank you.
Good.
But before I would like do phone calls with people and like see, or you know what I mean,
a little tasty
and I was really picky, and and I just wanted to feel like I wasn't here for clout. Like I wanted to just feel really like these are my people. Like I want my people on here. And so I think that's what, and I knew that was going to be going back to slow and steady. I knew that was going to
ADHD.
I know, but I knew that was going to be the slow way of growing, but I felt like it was the most honest way of growing.
Yeah.
So I wanted to take, that route.
Yeah, I think that's a wise way to do it.
Yeah.
Slow and steady wins the race.
Some people are impatient.
Well, at first I was like, I'm going to release my podcast weekly, and I'm not going to be able to do that. It's going to have to be a bi-weekly thing right now, at least in the beginning, until I can
just grow and make it comfortable.
Yes. Yeah. And if you stick with it, it sticks with you.
Yeah. Just stay consistent.
Stay consistent.
That's all. Stay consistent.
Shall we pull a card for the future?
Oh my God, yes. Yes. That's the last one because we're running out of time. We still have to do a second episode. But I want to see the future.
Do we want to do part 2? You could just.
We are going to we'll do this. And then what do you think? What do you think we need?
Well, because there's still so much more that we could do in a reading. Really? Yeah, we could just keep going in that. So it's up to you. We can close the reading out and talk about something else.
I know. I'm just scared because what if we lose them because it's like a month later?
Oh.
Oh,
I feel you.
So it'd be different if it was next week, but
all right,
or I could do that.
Let's
I guess.
pull a final. Where you're going? What's on the horizon?
I don't know.
Do you want just one, or do you want to just close it?
I kind of want to keep going, but you know what?
You tell me.
Let's end it here, and then I'm just gonna make it where next week you're on. We'll have you 2 weeks in a row.
Oh, okay. All right.
Let's just do that. That way, they're not waiting a month to okay.
To hear the rest of that.
Yeah. So tune in next week, you guys, and we'll hear part 2 because there's a lot going on here.
Yeah, baby. I mean, typically when I do a reading with someone, it takes about an hour. and we started
Okay.
like the reading 30 minutes into this.
That's true.
So,
Okay.
you know.
Then, well, Kiki, it's always a good time.
It's always a good Kiki.
Yeah. Okay. Well, plug yourself.
All right. All right. My name is Danny Santos, yo Astro Daddy. You can follow me on Instagram at Santos Crystal Visions. If you want to book a reading, confirm my identity with my name, your name, and the date in a voice note. You can also find my podcast on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube called the Astro Daddy Podcast. Yeah. So hit me up, y'all.
That should be your tagline.
Astro
Yeah, like you should do like an open, like Astro Daddy, Astro Daddy.
Daddy.
Yes, it should be. Okay, and then follow me, Stefanie Maegan, or go to brocotherapy.com. All that shit is there. So stay tuned for part 2 because there's more breakthroughs that are gonna happen.
More tarot, juicy, baby.
More juicy shit. Okay, love you guys. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Broke girl therapy.